I'm going to be joined here in a moment by Professor Robert Leonard, a political science professor at Hurley University near Chicago. He is in Miami Beach right now, and we're going to talk about the choice of Joseph Lieberman by Al Gore as his vice presidential running mate. Connecticut Senator Joseph Lieberman, escorted by members of Vice President Al Gore's campaign, has departed for Gore campaign headquarters in Nashville. He is appearing with the Democratic presidential candidate tomorrow in the public debut of the 2000 party ticket. Gore asked Lieberman to be his running mate earlier Monday in a brief telephone call, and the junior senator immediately accepted it. Speaking with reporters as he left his New Haven home, Lieberman said, "The vice president asked me if I would do him the honor of running with him. I told him it was my honor." Senator Lieberman is an Orthodox Jew, and people are probably making a lot out of this because in the history of our country, no man has, from a major party, run for the vice presidency or the presidency, or a woman who is Jewish. And it's unique in that John Kennedy got a whole lot of heat because he was the first and only Catholic, I think, to ever run from either one of the major parties. And so that's got a lot of interest. And let's get Professor Leonard on the phone here from Miami. Professor Leonard, thank you for joining the Phil Hendrie Show.
My pleasure, Phil.
What? Why are you in the Miami area?
I heard about Senator Lieberman being chosen by the vice president. I wanted to come here to Miami because this is a predominantly Jewish area, and I wanted to get the feel for the Jewish community and understand this decision. Miami Beach is well known. I don't know if I guess you're not aware of.
Not aware of what, sir?
You're not aware, in other words, of the demographics down here.
Yeah, I'm of Miami. I lived in Miami for 3 years. What do you mean?
Well, there are a lot of Jews down here, and so I had decided that I would come here to take a look at the demographic breakdown. There
are a great many Jewish people, elderly Jewish people, who are retired there and younger, and they call Miami the fifth borough of the sixth borough, whatever it is, of New York, and so that is, as you say, the demographic makeup. But what is your perception of this ticket?
I have to tell you, I have a hard time with this one, Phil. This one is tough. I think picking an Orthodox Jew on the face of it defies reality, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the Sabbath falls from Friday night to Saturday night. That is a whole day that could be, our country could be exposed if Mr. Lieberman became President of the United States. Secondly, and I don't want to hit this one too hard, I think I speak for all black people when I say, don't you think we get a shot at the presidency before the Jews do?
You're talking about black folks.
I'm talking about black folks. But I think that stings, that this Jewish man, and I'm sure that he is a good man, but I would think that black folks would get a shot at this. Passing up Colin Powell, Ward here, Willie Brown, Jesse Jackson. I'd like to think that we'd have a chance. Alan Keyes, he was running for president. Why wasn't he chosen?
Well, Alan Keyes was running as a Republican.
Well, but the point is that...
Al Gore isn't going to choose Alan Keyes. He was a Republican. So what are you saying? You're saying that black people... First of all, you started out with a religious reason, and now there's a kind of a racial reason?
Well, I think there are a lot of different reasons why we should look at this choice and ask ourselves why he's made a choice now. You see what I'm saying? In other words, if you got a Jewish man who can't even push the button or do the duty of a president on Saturday.
Well, as an Orthodox Jew, he's got to keep the Sabbath. And
Sandy Koufax did not pitch a World Series game in 1965 because of Yom Kippur. Now, that's the way an Orthodox Jew thinks. Now, if Sandy Koufax is not pitching in the World Series, and that's the World Series of baseball, what do you think Joseph Lieberman is capable of doing when the time comes to defend this country? I think that... Do
you think that is a real serious question? I
think it's a question to ask. I really do.
And you honestly believe that because he's keeping the Sabbath, he's not going to... there is Israel, okay? And
in Israel, they have a very predominant Arab population. When the country shuts down on Saturday, they have enough Arabs to do much of the work that needs to be done.
But what about the government? What about, the whole country of Israel was attacked on Yom Kippur in 1973. That's a holy day. They got things done.
They had a lot of Arabs doing a lot of things.
Well, they got attacked by Arabs. But I don't want to get bogged down in this question.
I think you need to understand the Jewish culture, Jewish faith, to understand that this is a holy day. And
I understand the Sabbath is holy from Friday night to Saturday night, but I don't know that it's going to have an impact as to whether or not the government can keep on functioning, especially if the country was in an emergency. I mean, but let's move on to this next point that you make, that don't you think that black folks should have gotten a shot? Explain that a little bit more.
Well, I think it's going to make it tougher for America negatively in negotiating a Middle East peace accord with a Jew as vice president.
Okay, now we got three reasons. You got the fact that he can't work on the Sabbath, that black folks should have got a shot, and now it's going to be tough to negotiate a Middle East peace with a Jew as vice president. Let's just stick to the second point, that black folks should have gotten a shot.
I think that before a Jew become president of the United States, and also we know, Mr. Hendrie, the reputation of the Jewish people, who are very smart with a dollar. We don't want to start looking cheap, buying wholesale, talking price over everything. People will look at our country. And
now you've got reason number 4 here, okay? And I'd like to get into all of these things with you, but I wanted to get back to the
I can go back to the point, but I just want to spell out some of the things. I wanted to give you my feelings on this as to why it is a black man why it is a Jew is been nominated for vice president, not a black. Jews don't drink. Could be understood.
Never mind about whether Jews don't drink, and never mind about whether they don't keep. I just wanted to mention. Let me give the phone number out here: 1-800-449-8686. We're talking with Professor Robert Leonard here from Hurley University. He's in Miami Beach. You went to Miami to get the feel of the Jewish demographic down there.
Right. I came down to Miami Beach, and I am down here right now taking the pulse of the Jewish community. And
what are you finding out?
Well, I'm finding out that they like this choice.
Okay, maybe you should have been in a black neighborhood to find out how they felt, because obviously you're very unhappy with this choice, right?
You know, Phil, it's not that I'm unhappy with the choice. It's that I feel that there might have been a couple of other things Gore could have been talking about or thinking about. Jews run the entertainment industry. Jews run the banking industry.
So what we got is another Jew in power. Is that it?
Well, I'm just saying that these are things. It's very uncomfortable for me to say this. Many of my friends are Jewish. You have to understand. Some of the best people I know are Jewish people. But I don't think that this country is ready to elect a Jew president.
Well, he's not running for president.
But by running for vice president, he's effectively running for president. I think the country is ready for a black man. Then the Jew, but not before.
So the black guy is kind of the entree to the Jewish guy.
Make the black man the entree for the Jewish guy. But I don't think you go Jewish then black. I think you go black then Jewish. Same as you go woman, black, Jew. You don't go Jew, black, woman. So there is a certain pecking order, I think. And now I'm down in Miami. You can't swing a dead cat down here without hitting a Jew. So what you've got here is an area, I think, of people who are concentrated in what their attitudes are. But
you can't swing a dead cat. You know.
Well, that's the truth. All right. So it's a tough thing. And he was a bagging on President Clinton. He was bagging on Monica Lewinsky, and she's Jewish, so he wasn't very loyal. See.
All right, Professor Robert Leonard is with us. You don't support this because the Sabbath, because a black guy should have gotten a shot, because Jews don't drink, because we don't want to look cheap, because they run the entertainment and banking industry. He wasn't loyal to Monica Lewinsky, and you can't swing a dead cat in Miami without hitting a Jew.
I've got questions, Mr. Hendrie, about this ticket, yeah.
All right. Well, our number is 1-800-449-8686 if you want to talk to Professor Robert Leonard from Hurley University on the nomination of Joseph Lieberman as vice presidential nominee with Al Gore on the Democratic ticket. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. One 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. Well, the nomination of Joseph Lieberman as the vice presidential nominee to run alongside the presidential nominee, Al Gore, who we expect will be the presidential nominee. You know, it's It's a fact that they still have their convention next week. I suppose somebody else could sneak in and win it, but anyway, Al Gore's going to be the running nominee, and his VP is Joseph Lieberman. He's an Orthodox Jew. People are making a big thing out of that because there has never been a Jewish man or woman who's run for vice president or president from a major party. Also, we have with us Professor Robert Leonard. You're an African American, is that correct?
You know something, Phil? I do not think that is applicable. You understand? You know,
no, I'm just asking you. Are you black?
I don't think that is applicable. What I am trying to say is a series of comments on a larger issue. That the reason why Joseph Lieberman might be unelectable is because of his Orthodox Jewish roots. But that's got nothing to do with my race. And that's got...
Well, you're talking about his religious underpinnings and racial or religious heritage. What about you?
I don't want to comment on that.
So you don't want to I bet you are black, right?
I'm not going to comment. And I find that offensive, you putting it that way. I bet you I'm black. And why do you think I'm black?
Because you sound like you're black, but I don't.
Because you have some racial stereotype about me.
Okay, then let's forget the whole thing. Let's just move on to a phone call.
I would appreciate that very much, yes, sir.
And I didn't mean to offend you, sir.
I understand that, sir.
Here is Miami Beach on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
Hi. I'd like to comment regarding the professor's statements. Professor, you should not be worried. The vice president is only an aide to the president. If he should keep the Sabbath, do not worry that the entire government will not fall down.
Well, he's
the
not
president
supposed to
will
work.
run.
Well, he's not supposed to work, right?
Don't worry, but it doesn't matter. For one to do the other, the president is the one in control, not the vice president. He's an aide.
Yes, but if something happens to the president of the United States, he becomes the president of the United States. The vice president is elevated to the presidency, at which time, and we have seen that numerous times in our history, have we not? And so if the vice president is elevated and something should happen on Saturday and he's kicking, not doing no work. So what's that all about?
Well,
he's kicking that...
I'm not sure...
What's he going to do?
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Eliot... Hello?
You a Jew?
Am I a Jew? Yes, I am.
On Saturday, if you were the president of the United States and the country got attacked by, let's say, Iraq or something like that, what would you do?
This country, you mean, the United States?
The United States of America. If you was the president of the United States.
What would this country do? That would be the president's decision.
What would you do if you were the president?
If I was the president?
Yes.
Well, first of all, if I was a Jewish president and I would already have that, I would be obviously smart enough to have that planned out, and I would already have something pre-planned.
So you'd still be kicking it?
Should something by accident or something be attacked or something happen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we had a very, very large case that went on with Elian Gonzalez, and it happened that the lawyer of Elian was an Orthodox Jew, and it did happen that on Sabbath something very great occurred. So what did this Orthodox Jew premeditate? He was close by, he was in the area, and within the realms of Judaism and the Sabbath, he was able to still take part in the case, but to the limits and to the extent where he would not desecrate or go against the Sabbath.
Are you an Orthodox? Are you an Orthodox Jew, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm Orthodox,
okay.
So I know what I'm talking about.
Can he go golfing on Saturday?
Can he go golfing? I'm sure. Yeah. See, that's unnecessary.
That's important for
you don't
president.
have to go out to have tea on Sunday. I'm talking about if the United States is under attack and we're about to experience some nuclear destruction.
That's right, but he also, if he has a guy come in from another country who wants to go golfing, what's he going to do? Tell him, no, I can't go golfing with you?
Well, that's
he got to go golf.
First of all, Mr. Gore is a very intellectual man. He's in his position for a reason.
Well,
so
I don't know. I don't think he thought this out.
Premeditated this. He must have understood that this was going to be I guess a repercussion or something that was going to happen.
I don't think he thought it out.
Because he was Orthodox.
I don't think he thought it out.
Another point.
That other guy, I think he forgot that Lieberman's Jewish.
Wait, he forgot that he's Jewish?
I just don't think he thought about it.
Professor, I mean, you are an intellectual man, and I would not disagree. I mean, you're very smart. I for sure, it's understood by the way you speak.
Thank you.
However, Mr. Gore as well is extremely, extremely educated, and he's very smart, and he's not about to to forget that he's Jewish. I mean, this is the entire United States depends on the president and the vice president.
I don't think he thought out the Sabbath deal.
Forget. He's not going to, it slipped my mind. That doesn't happen.
I think it slipped his mind that Lieberman's Jewish, because I don't think he thought out this whole Sabbath thing. You got to go golfing on Saturday. You got to maybe run the government on Saturday. There's all kinds of things you got to do on Saturday. And he forgot all about it.
What do you mean he forgot all about it? He knows. Okay, ma'am, I got to go to another call, but I thank you very much for your considered thoughts. What do you mean he forgot?
Well, for something as important as that, why did he think about that? Because what's he going to do on Saturday? You got an Orthodox Jew in there, and the country's attacked, and then now he can't do nothing because he's kicking it someplace wearing a shawl over his head or whatever it is he do. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I agree with the young caller. I'm sure that Vice President Gore has considered that. Here's Fort Lauderdale on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Well, I wish he'd let the rest of us in on this.
Fort Lauderdale, hello. Fort Lauderdale?
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, could you speak up, please?
I am trying to,
Okay.
I have to say, I'm just trying to...
You can't swing a dead cat.
Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
This man is when every time, Phil, you repeat what he is saying, I am thinking to myself that you are hoping
he will ride in a cattle car.
That you are hoping that he will hear how ignorant he sounds.
I am hoping that because I think some of these things.
Excuse me, Mr. Henry.
I
would hope that you would have more respect for me.
Why doesn't he shut up so I can speak?
I'm just saying, because you're saying things, sir, like, why he's got to be able to play golf on Saturday with foreign dignitaries. I just think that sounds a little short-sighted given Vice President Gore.
I mean, he is indicating that a black man should be given the opportunity first. A black man was given the opportunity.
Who's that?
A wonderful black man.
Who?
Mr. Colin Powell, and he said
never,
no thank you.
He never ran.
But he was offered the opportunity, and he said no thank you.
They want to make him a VP.
And what is wrong with somebody observing the Sabbath?
If we get attacked by a nuclear bomb...
Do you observe a Sabbath?
Well, if we get the nuclear bomb dropped on...
Do you observe a Sabbath?
What you going to do if they drop a nuclear bomb?
Do you observe a Sabbath? Judaism teaches that life and the health and welfare of people is more important than the Sabbath.
Are you calling for Miami?
Anytime the Sabbath will never come in the way of somebody's decision.
You calling for Miami, ma'am?
What difference does it make? You haven't answered one question I've asked you.
You can't swing a dead cat down there with a...
I got that already, okay? The lady asked you a question.
What was your question?
Do you observe a Sabbath?
Do I serve what?
Do you observe? Observe.
Observe?
Do you understand
yes, I do.
English? Do you observe
you
the Sabbath?
You said, do I serve something? I do not serve.
Do you observe?
I do observe.
What? And you observe a Sabbath?
I observe. Is that a boat? I don't know what you...
The Sabbath, not a Sabbath.
Oh, the Sabbath. No, I don't.
Well, there you go.
Shame on you. We certainly don't need people that have the ability to observe.
Well, I got things I got to do. I got to get out and do things. I can't be sitting kicking it, man, when somebody's dropping a bomb.
You're a very ignorant human being.
I'm an ignorant
human
being.
Why you are being given a platform is beyond my understanding.
I've got many great Jewish friends, ma'am, and I'm really disappointed that you think...
I don't think that any one of them are very proud of you
We understand the Jewish people are good with a dollar, but we don't want to be seen as cheap. And you look at us buying wholesale.
Oh, come on, man. You think the whole country's going to be looked upon as a bunch of cheap wholesale buying? What is it with you? And what's this thing about Jews don't take a drink?
They don't.
Bull crap.
Well, you say, lady, do you drink? Lady.
She's gone. She's hung up on.
I've gone. I cannot believe the commentary that's going on.
You run the internet.
I cannot believe it.
Are you the president of the banking industry? All I'm saying.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to find if Jews take a drink.
If you had a brain in your head, you would know that Jews have nothing to do with the banking industry for the most part.
Manischewitz don't count either. Do you drink?
I cannot believe how you allow this man to.
All right, man. We're going to take a break. Thank you very much. 1-800-449. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show with Professor Robert Leonard from Hurley University on the line, a political science professor. You've said a lot of things here, Professor, about Joseph Lieberman, who's the vice presidential nominee. You're saying that he's because he's Jewish, how can he observe the Sabbath and still effectively lead? Does he drink so that socially he can interact with foreign leaders? Can he golf? You've mentioned that because we have a Jewish vice president, we might be perceived as smart with a dollar. You know, a lot of these things can just simply sound like anti-Semitism.
Mr. Hendrie, I am not an anti-Semitic man. I have a great many Jewish friends. But...
well, that sounds like a guy saying, I got a lot of black friends.
Allow me to finish what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is this. If you have a Jewish vice president, someday he can become a president, a Jewish president. Now, what do you say if he can't take himself a highball on a Saturday or swing a golf club?
Well, what if he wasn't Orthodox? What if he was Reformed or even conservative, where I think golf club on a Saturday? Would that be all right?
I think that as far as... I'm just saying, how come a brother didn't get a shot?
Well, what is this about? A brother not getting a shot, or the guy can't swing a golf club on a Saturday? That's what I'm saying. That's why I think what you're saying is confusing.
I'm saying I think you are not understanding the points that I'm trying to make.
No, I believe that I am. Schenectady on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you're on the air.
I think Mr. Lieberman is an excellent choice. I think it matters not whether he drinks or whether he plays golf.
What about socializing with foreign presidents?
He could play golf on Saturday as long as he didn't drive a car to do it.
He can play golf?
Certainly he can.
All right, but he can't drive a car, see?
Well, no, he can't drive a car.
That's the part that I think is unfortunate.
Oh, why is that unfortunate?
How's he going to get to the golf course?
Well, his driver will drive him. His chauffeur
will
drive him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, have you ever seen a vice president or a president who doesn't have a chauffeur or a driver?
A vice president or president who can't drive himself to a golf course?
Who doesn't have a chauffeur or a driver to drive him around?
Why can't he drive himself?
Well, he can if it's not Saturday.
He's not going to drive himself. He's the vice president of the United States. He's going to have a guy drive him.
I think that is a waste of resource, and I believe that is just one of the many reasons why this man is...
We just lost... That's great. We just lost our... Fantastic. Okay, the last thing I heard him say was, I believe that's a waste of resource for a vice president to be driven to a golf course when he can drive himself. Is that the last thing I heard? Okay, try and make contact with him again, Mike. Professor Robert Leonard from Hurley University, who believes that a Jewish vice president who could someday become a Jewish president is a bad choice, not because he doesn't like Jews, because he said he has many Jewish friends, but they don't drink and they can't swing a golf club on Saturday. Additionally, he has made some comments concerning Jews being, quote, smart with a dollar, and we don't want to get the reputation of buying wholesale. And he's also gone on to say that he's down in Miami because, quote, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Jew in Miami. Okay, do we have the Professor? You back with us?
Yes, sir. I'm not aware of what happened, but it might have been the payphone that I'm at.
You're at a payphone?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Houston, Texas on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
I have a couple of comments to make, and then I hope that the great professor there will answer some of the questions I have.
Certainly.
One of my questions is, you got really offended when you were asked by the host.
Can you hold on for a minute,
whether
ma'am?
or not you were black.
Ma'am, hold on for a minute.
Okay.
Are you at a payphone, Professor?
Yeah, I'm right outside. I'm right outside Wolfie Cohen's in Miami Beach.
What's Wolfie Cohen's?
The Rascal House.
Well, what, are you on the street?
I'm at a payphone, yeah. See, this is a Jewish delicatessen. I'm hanging around, talking to people coming in and out of the place.
I know Wolfie Cohen's. It's on Miami Beach.
Yeah. There are a lot of Jews that go in and out. And,
so, all right. Go ahead, ma'am. You're going to have to move off the street?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. My comment is, when you had asked him if he was black or not, he got very offended. But yet, for the last 20 minutes, I have listened to him about racial slurs about Jewish people. And I wonder why we should not, if we were Jewish, be offended by him.
I've not said anything racial slur. All I said was...
Let me correct you. You're incorrect. You
have
said that we are penny pinching.
I said you're smart with a dollar. You're smart with a dollar. That's different from saying penny pinching.
You were implying that
You're implying that that's a negative.
Buy wholesale.
I'm saying that the world will see America as buying wholesale, talking price on everything or whatnot. You can't have that.
Professor, I don't think you would recognize what the world would see if it would hit you right in the face. And I can't imagine that any university is giving you the right to choose your college. You sound like an idiot.
I just went in. I stepped outside the phone booth for a minute. Could you say that again?
I said I can't imagine that you would know the viewpoints of anybody in the world because everything you've said sounds ridiculous.
Ma'am, I have come to Miami Beach. I'm standing outside the Rascal House, which is one of the biggest Jew restaurants and delis.
And what does that have to do with anything?
I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to get the pulse of the Jewish community.
Standing outside of a restaurant.
You have a lot of Jewish friends. I would find that hard to believe after this show that you'll have any left because you've been so offensive to them this whole time.
No, ma'am. I believe that I'm simply trying to get some answers. And how come we got to have a Jewish...
questions are ridiculous. Nobody can give you a logical and educated answer to ridiculous questions like a president can't play golf on a Saturday. And when you found that that wasn't the truth, you then went on to your next debate, which would be, oh, well, that's a waste of resources, that he would have to be driven.
Ma'am, all I'm saying is that if you have to drive a man to his golf, why can't he drive himself?
Because he is the president of the United States or the vice president of the United States, either of which has all kinds of guards and security that go with them, and they don't typically tool around town in their own car.
You can't, for security reasons.
Yeah. If they had a black president, he'd have to drive himself. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, you know what? Now we know you're black because of the statements you've been making lately.
No, I'm just saying.
It's obvious now you're black.
I'm not saying.
You don't get a right. If there's a black man, you wouldn't get driven around. That is so ridiculous.
No, ma'am, I didn't say I'm black. I'm simply saying if we had a black president, do you think the country will waste money giving him a chauffeur? No, he'd have to drive his own car.
I think it's idiotic that you would say otherwise.
No, why would you say that?
Because you know
wait
what?
a minute.
We all know you're black.
Driving Mr. You know that movie. That'll change the name of that movie to Driving Mr. Lieberman. What do you think about that? I guess you'd like that, wouldn't you? And
Driving Mr. Lieberman.
Mr. Hendrie, I am trying to make some serious points. And
what are you saying, man? You're coming on here.
Because you're not.
You have not answered one of my questions. I've answered all your questions. How come he wasn't?
He couldn't play golf on Saturday. That was one of your questions. The lady before me answered it perfectly clear. He can play golf and would be driven to the golf course if that was even a serious question.
No, ma'am. All right. What about Alan Keyes? Why didn't Gore pick him?
I told you that answer because Alan Keyes is a Republican.
But why did they get a brother in there first?
See, now you're saying you're black because you're saying
I didn't say I'm black. I said why they didn't give a brother a chance.
A little while ago, you said why don't they get one of brothers in there?
Why don't they get one of the brothers? Yeah.
You include yourself in by saying us.
I didn't say that. I said that I am simply asking if a black man became president, you think he's going to get to kick it playing golf on a Saturday? No, he's got to drive himself to the airport. And that
you're not going to. We're not going to have.
You just said that sounds so ridiculous.
What did I say?
If it was a black man up there, that he wouldn't have the same security that a white man has.
Right. You're saying if we had a black president, he'd have to drive himself to the airport.
I really believe that. No, I really believe it.
You really believe that if Colin Powell had been elected president, for instance, that he'd have to drive himself to the airport and the golf course?
I'll tell you right now, if we get a Jewish vice president,
we would probably have to fly coach to our Southwest.
If he gets elected, he'll take so many days off because of the hundreds of Jewish holidays. Nothing's going to get done. You got Yom Kippur, you got Rosh Hashanah, you got the Passover, you got the Hanukkah deal. Every time you turn, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Jewish holiday.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for your call. You got to be nuts.
I'm nuts. How come the black man, if he's elected president, has got to caddy his own golf sack against...
Never mind about caddying. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Should we take any more of these calls? Should I even keep the doctor on the phone? Yeah, screw it. Guy's a maniac. If a black man was elected president, he'd have to drive himself to the golf course. 1-800-449-8686. That's why we have a Jewish vice president nominee. 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show. But if we had a black president, would he drive the Jewish vice president? I don't know. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, apparently they've had some photographs that they took of each other in their bedroom having sex. Apparently they took the film to be developed at a company that is well known for developing high-profile film, meaning celebrity film, so that it doesn't leak out to the public. And this film did anyway, or maybe the film didn't, but what was on the film leaked out, and apparently it's the two of them in bed doing, having some kind of sex that some people consider to be aberrant. I don't know. The guy that wrote this column for E! Online, Ted Casablanca, I guess thought it was like weird that a straight couple engage in anal sex. So he's dropping the hint in his column here that that's what they were pictures of. And ain't that cool? Let me just say to Jennifer and Brad, if you're listening, which you're probably not, although you might be, were you in town, hey, get a digital camera and download the stuff to your computer and print it off there. Don't get your pictures developed. But I don't care who it is, whether it's the little yellow box there in the parking lot or it's the high-profile company that does it. Just put these guys out of business, these so-called high-profile companies that ain't so high-profile that they can't keep your film out of the hands of people in the press. Get a digital camera, take pictures of yourselves doing whatever it is you want to do, download it to your computer, and frame them, and there. A nice framed picture of Brad and Jennifer doing whatever the hell it is that they're doing that so shocks these real lame asses that work at E! Online. Do that. And that way, all of the high-profile companies that are supposed to keep your confidence and are supposed to keep your privacy intact and don't go out of business. Speaking of, weird stuff, Sex and the City last night has the following exchange, and I don't want to be graphic. I honestly don't. In the show, one of the women that's on that program says that her boyfriend's blank tastes funky. And Melissa and I were talking about this morning because we both came to the conclusion women don't talk like that. When women, this was in Sex and the City, okay? First of all, that show does not reflect really anything that women do. It just doesn't. I mean, women go out with guys, but beyond that, the conversations they have, talking about with each other how their boyfriend's blank tastes funky. Women don't talk that way. And then we realize the two guys that produce that show are fags. Fags talk that way. But these two fags take fag talk and put it into the mouths of women. So while fags may sit around and say that my boyfriend's stuff tastes funky, women don't talk that way. So you don't take that stuff, gay talk, and stick it in the mouths of women. So that show bears absolutely no resemblance whatsoever to anything that straight women talk about. It just doesn't. And if you watch that show and you hear this, you know it's true. Now, what do I know about women? Very little. I've been around them my whole life. In some instances, actually got involved with a few of them. I don't know anything about them, but I do know what they talk about. Guys are a lot more direct and upfront and really connected to sex. Women are not that direct. They don't have that direct connection. And they don't sit around with each other and talk about stuff like that. But because a couple of homosexuals are writing the show, they figure that that's what the women are going to be talking about. I don't know. They could call it Sex and the City. And the clothes those chicks are wearing, by the way, the last time I saw clothes like that on anybody, it was the West Hollywood Halloween Parade. And a guy was wearing them. Would you dudes hire some straight men to write for that show? With all due respect, I have nothing against the gay culture, but if you guys want to purport to be representing straight women in all that they do, hire some straight guys, or better yet, straight women to write the show. Watch this. If I actually took the lines off a hold, maybe we get a call from a couple of the guys that write on the show, or maybe a couple of straight women that write on the show and say, well, Phil, you're full of crap. But I doubt it. Women sitting around having lunch, my boyfriend's stuff tastes funky, and, this is the way women talk? No, they don't. And I don't care if I got 8 million calls from women telling me that that's what they say. They don't. Women don't talk that way. They may say things like, he can't find it with, both hands in the dark. You know what I'm talking about? He's clumsy, he's this, he's that. But they don't talk about that. But the reason why that stuff makes its way into a script is because some gay men writing the show decide, well, hell, that's the way we talk. Why don't we just have straight chicks talk? Actually, the show is very subversive in that respect. Very subversive. It's more of a representation of gay culture than it is a straight female culture. So there. Melissa wanted me to tell you that, and I'm happy to do it. Wherever she is. Oh, she left the room. She probably got bored with me talking about it. So, you know what flick I went and saw this weekend with Maria? We went and saw What Lies Beneath. And let me tell you, this is the God's honest truth. It was Harrison Ford. It was Michelle Pfeiffer. The pivotal moment where he's drowning her in the bathtub. Maria and me and 3 women sitting behind us, we were all laughing uproariously. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to be laughing, but I was laughing nonetheless. I couldn't take it any longer. I couldn't take how stupid this movie was any longer. From Harrison Ford in his death scene, which is one of the funniest scenes. You got to go to this movie to see Harrison Ford die. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen. And then you got to see Michelle Pfeiffer laying in a tub full of water with the water up to her nose and her eyeballs darting back and forth. This is supposed to be scary. It's the funniest damn thing you ever saw in your life. See, he gave her some drug that paralyzes her, but she's conscious. So he lays her in the tub. He's going to try and drown her. So you see the water rising up to her nose and her eyeballs going back and forth, and she can't do anything. I'm laughing my rear end off at this. It was hysterical. And the other thing that was fun, the only other thing in that movie that was funny or worth it was this old man about 3 rows back. And this is what I'm hearing. Oh, boy, look at that. There's Harrison Ford. And people are going, shh, okay. Where are you going now, honey? And he's with his wife. And she's like, shh, I'm going to the bathroom. Oh, you got to get up and go to the can, huh? Shh, will you be quiet? Shh. Are you a number 1 or number 2? What are you doing, huh? Is it a bowel movement or what? Shh. Everybody is just, shut up. So apparently this poor old guy's so deaf. He's like, everything's talking about at this level. Oh, Christ, look at that. There's Harrison Ford. I saw him in Raiders of the Lost Ark when I was 60. Shh! Be quiet! Shut up! I was about to get up and go back there and go, shut up! And I realized the poor guy, oh, boy, this is a really fun movie. Uh-huh. Where, honey? Are you going to the bathroom? Shh! I'm going to go to the bathroom. Okay, you got some of those little diarrhea squirts going now, don't you? Boy, that's rough. Okay, dear, I'll be waiting back. Don't have any popcorn because that stuff comes out undigested. You don't want that to happen again like it did 6 times last week. And shut up! Just shut up. That happened to me, but mercifully it happened to me when I went. I actually asked my wife, let's go see this Tea with Mussolini. I thought it was a war movie. We went and saw this thing. God, was it horrible. And right behind me, Tea with Mussolini comes on, rolls the credits. Well, there's Sicily. I was there, 1943. Look at that, huh? Well, where was that? That was Rome. And, sir, could you be quiet? Huh? Could you be quiet? Okay. Look at that there. There's that Cher and that whole deal. And the guy's talking on and on and on and on. So anyway, What Lies Beneath kind of blows. And I wanted it to be good, but it's just, ugh. I was looking forward to seeing that pile of crap, too. Look, if you want a good giggle, go see it. There's some scary stuff in there. There's some good shocks. But you got to go just for the fun of seeing Harrison Ford croak. It's beautiful. Phil Hendrie Show.